everyone, it's Dania here. Next week it's time for the online class Drink with Friends, and I thought I'd bring a coloring tutorial. If you're here, you pretty much came over from the fan page. If you're new to my channel or just stumbled across this, we still have some kits available, and it's really cute. You get this little stamp set here and the matching dies, as well as a seashell folded, which makes an A2 size card, and this really cute stencil. But the purpose of this video is to do a little coloring using the Stamps of Life markers that they sell. And this, I think, is a very quick way to color. So let's get to it. First of all, I want to explain that the paper I use is called Bristol Smooth. This paper is designed for markers and pens, and it has a very smooth, almost coated finish, and it's flat and it's white, and the ink just slides right on it. So it works really well for this technique I'm going to do today. I'm also using a water brush. The trick to this water brushes is that it has to be almost dry. Some water brushes, they just feed too much water into the brush, even without squeezing. So if you're not having success, more than likely it's probably because you have too much water. And there's no rule that says you have to use a water brush. You can use a brush and water, like a regular little brush and water and a paper towel or piece of cloth to keep the water, the brush thirsty. That's what you want. You want a thirsty brush. Now, back to the paper. I like this paper because, like I said before, it's very smooth and it flows the ink very well. So let's get on to it so you can see what I'm talking about. Let's start with the coconut. All I do is I lay out right on the paper with the marker. I put in on the outer edge just a very, as you can see, sloppy layer of paint. Maybe a little bit around the edge here. Then I take the brush and I just move the paint out. Now I bled a little bit out. You can clean it up by just taking clean water and running your brush through on the areas that it bled. Okay, so now we're going to let it dry. Don't touch it anymore, just leave it as is. While that's drying, oops, I just noticed I bled a little bit out here too. Okay, so while that's drying, I'm going to explain or show, this is a piece of cardstock, just regular old-fashioned white cardstock. And I'm going to take the marker that I just used, and I'm going to lay down some color, and I'm going to go over it so you could see why I use the Bristol paper for this technique. See how it doesn't move? And then over time, if I keep going over it, the paper starts to get these little pieces of yuck on it because it starts deteriorating. The fibers can't handle the water. Now, if you want to color on regular cardstock, you can, but you can't work the paper. And unfortunately, I can't do that. I haven't been able to master it. So what you do is you just lay down some marker on a piece, on a palette. All this is just a laminated piece of paper. And you take it, and then you just move it, you move the color around. And that's how you fill it in. But again, and this is the reason why I don't like it. Once the color sits very in a big area, it'll pool and I can't get it to move. And some people are okay with that. There's nothing wrong with that. You might want to like that washy type look. But again, I haven't mastered it. I'm not going to poo-poo it. But I'm just telling you why I have issues with it personally. Another thing you could use if you don't want to use the Bristol, and I already have it stamped out here somewhere. I had started doing this coloring, and this is Strathmore actual watercolor paper, and this has like it's not smooth, it's watercolor paper, and with this you can do it the same way as I just did the Bristol. You can get a nice shadowing like that. And then I also use, when I do this with the Bristol as well too, I also use the palette. For instance, maybe I wanted to add some yellow, blend some yellow in there, but I didn't want the strength of the, and I can make it a little bit more like a washy yellow. That's more of a pineapple. I probably should have done this with ginger snap. It would have been a better selection. And I can always go back. I'll let this dry. I can always go back and add more color, play around with it until I get how I like it. But one of my point is that I have room to layer. And I guess I'm a layerer. I guess that's what I am. I like to lay color. And with cardstock, you can't do that. I guess that's my point. Okay, that was enough blah, blah, blah. I'm getting nowhere. Okay, so back to the Bristol. Let's do the umbrella. And we'll still let this little guy dry. Let me lay down this pink. Now these are Stamps to Life marker are water-based markers. And what I like about water-based markers in comparison to Copic is that you don't need to have a million colors. With this one pink, I was able to lay down one color and move it over, and it just got lighter gradually. And later on, after this dries, I want to come back, I can even go deeper with the color. Okay, so now let's work down here and let's pick a better color selection than I did on the other one. You could even blend colors too on the Bristol. So for instance, I can go right into it with the yellow. And And once that's all blended together, I'll probably get like a gold. The more color you lay down, the more pigment you can move on the paper. So it depends on how deep you want the color. And once it dries, you can always go back and add more. The point is to let it dry completely before you mess with it again. Okay, hopefully I'm getting it all. I really can't see from this distance. Oh, lady eyes. Okay, we're going to just let that dry. Now, on something as small as these little, let's do these little cherries. I think they're so cute. Cherries? Yeah, I guess they are cherries. I don't know what they are. They could be olives, but no, it's not a olive-y kind drink. It's a sweet drink, so it's cherries. And just... don't be afraid to dry your brush if the water's coming out too quickly. And then, like, for the straw, I mean, that is just so small that I would probably just not even bother with the water. I could just use the markers. And then my favorite things are leaves. And we'll let that dry. So you can see it goes pretty quickly. Okay, so I'm going to speed up the coloring. And in the process, I'm going to try to think of a card to make so I can end this with a card. Okay, one thing I want to add is that you've got to be careful with the Bristol because it takes a while because the paper's so smooth for it to dry. And I just smeared by running my hand. Luckily, it wasn't a whole lot. I'm able to clean it off with some water. So that's just a note of caution there that I wanted to point out. So let me go back to the coloring. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is, I don't know if you all saw that I added some shading here. I should have stopped the video at that point and explained what I was doing, but I just went in with the darker gray and just kind of blended in some darker colors to give it a little bit more depth. So I'm going to go ahead and do that here with this one. And you could either go in straight with the marker like I did above. And blend it out. And that just gives it a little bit more of a interest. Now I didn't quite get the yellow there as how I wanted it to, so let me come over here. It's hard to do this when you can't see. Oops, wrong color. And then if you want to add some interest, some of the pineapples they have like little green into the, so you can just add some I'm so ready for a tropical vacation. You know what? I'm going to take kiwi and I'm going to blend it in with this yellow and see what happens. Pretty cool. Oops, dropped my brush. Still got some, boy, red is such a nasty color to clean up. I'm just going to take some clad and I'm just going to fill in, just give the white a little softness with this gray. So you can keep playing, you can keep adding more layers and more layers depending on the depth you want. For example, if I wanted, well, I did the glass and the lightest green sea glass. And so if I wanted it to be a little bit darker, I can go like I did before. I could just keep right on adding more. To make it look like the glass. Now it shows up a little bit better. I think you get the gist of what I'm doing here. So anyway, that's how I color using the Stamps of Life markers. It's very relaxing. It's very soothing for me. So that's the end of the coloring. So now I'm going to go ahead and make a card. And hopefully this was helpful for you all. I really appreciate a like. And in the comments below, if you want to see this done in pencil, I will be more than happy to repeat this process with colored pencils. Thank you. Alrighty, I cut all the pieces out. And then I realized that I missed some spots. I never added the little leaves to the little strawberry here. And the die that I am going to use, and I just totally royally messed it up because I did it without my glasses on, is I forgot to add the little dots and they all smeared. But I'll see if I can use a white gel pen to clean that up a little bit. But I also went ahead and added the Wink of Stella glitter marker on the, I don't know if you can see it, just to give it a little bit of shine. Okay, and a card idea did come to me. I have another sheet here of Bristol Smooth paper, and it's 5x7. So here I have the rectangle from the rectangle 2-pack, just to give me a visual of the size of card that I'm going to be doing, which is A2. And I thought it'd be neat. This is a rectangle from the Slimline layering rectangle dies. So what I thought I'd do was, I'm going to cut a panel out. Don't know what color yet. And I'm going to try to make a fish tail. And a fish tail has the little V cut out here, but at least this will give me a straight, and then I could just hopefully not mess it up too bad to do the little fish tail on there. And I thought that it'd be cute to put the pineapple drink like there somewhere, and then use one of the these cute little crabs. And for the life of me, I thought that the Stamps of Life had the word cheers, but they don't. They have cheerful. I tried looking at it and see if I can, finagle it. And I said, you know what? They have enjoy. So let me do enjoy. And then I'm going to do the enjoy word up here. What I was thinking of doing was, when I cut the panel out, because I'm going to head and cut this panel out, I want to do some stripes in the back to bring out the color that's in this this set right here. So I'm going to use the markers, and what I'm planning on doing, let's see if it works, is I'm going to draw a straight line, and then I'm just going to take the brush, blend it out, do the next color, blend it out, do the next color. So it's going to look real, I don't know how to explain it. It's going to look very handmade. Let's just put it that way. So let's see how that turns out. And if it doesn't work, then I'll do something else. So let's get started. Alrighty. I've cut down my little panel that's going to fit on a A2 size card. And you can see it. It's white. It's right here. And I went ahead and cut this in a black strip for now. Let's see if it works. Usually when I do a fishtail, I figure out the center of the paper, and then I just go corner to corner and cut out the fishtail. And this time I thought I wedged the die in. It worked a little bit better, but I still had to trim it a little bit. I just couldn't quite get the center of the die there. But anyway, it works. It'll work. So now I just have to determine how much of this I'm going to cut off, but I won't do that till later. So I chose black. I might change it, but for now we're going to leave black and see if that works. All right, now to work on this panel. Let's see if I can squeeze everything in here. Maybe take this off and put this down. I'm going to line as best as I can. Actually, there. Now the question becomes, I don't know how many colors I'm going to use as lines, but I guess I want to try to get all these colors in, and I'm going to do them in a rainbow fashion. I'm going to use the lines here as a guide and see if this will work. Oops. Oh, I messed it up. Guess it's going to be a thicker line. Again, it's not perfect. I just really want to start though with now how should I do this? Should I let's go ahead and just add all the colors. If it doesn't work, I'll just get another piece of paper. Okay. Ugh, don't move on me. Put this down here so it doesn't move. And then we'll do orange. And yellow. And green. Ah, Dania. Okay, again, it doesn't really matter. It smeared a little bit here too as well. Guess I better clean this. Okay, here's a moment of truth. I'm going to take my brush. And I'm just going to start right on the red. And just go right up to the pink. Okay, and then the pink. Want red to come down. There you go. Orange. And green. Let's take a visual and see how that's going to look. Maybe I want to take the red up a little higher. So I think if I, or is that going to be, is that going to work? Probably not. Again, let's just go for it and see what happens. There's plenty of pigment here. Should bleed up nice. Yeah, that's okay. Okay, I just got it dirty there. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and heat set this, and then we'll see what it looks like. Okay, all dried. You know what? It came out pretty good, considering I didn't know what to expect. Okay, so I have my, which has a white spot on it, and I don't understand why, but it's going to have to work. Maybe I should just flip it. No. I attached the Enjoy to white vellum type paper, and I lost the period on the J, so I added a little gem instead. So let's go ahead and assemble this. Not sure what's on that paper. Hold on, I have a... Not quite sure what I got on there. I don't know if this is going to make it better or worse. This is a sand eraser. Oh, there we go. It's gone. Okay, let's glue on the drink. And our little tiny crab. And let's glue on my... Snip that off. Adhere, enjoy. Now, because this is like a vellum, I got to make sure that I go where the letters are. And put that right there. Okay, I pulled out these, this is nail art. They're these little flowers, and I'm thinking that because they have the same colors that I just, to maybe spread a few of them around. It's too close to the red. Oh, come on. And then I want a pink one. But that pink one is missing a petal. There, that one's better. I don't know. Maybe, maybe not. Not quite sure. What the heck. I'll go ahead and knot it on. I like the little splash of color. And then I just dab that on. Whoa. and adhere it to the card. And there we go. That's the finished card. Thank you. You stuck with me all the way through. So anyway, it's a fun class, and I hope you all signed up. Again, I appreciate a like, and again, if you want to see the coloring and pencils, let me know below, and I'll put another video together tomorrow. Thank you all. Have a great day.